हम तुमस्यो जोरी साची.
Today, Feel Like You Belong is on site in Ada, Michigan. We are at the Sikh temple here in West Michigan, and we're talking with Baljeet Singh. Baljeet is the priest here at the Sikh temple. Baljeet, thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
So when we were talking earlier, you were talking about your history here. You've been in West Michigan now since 2006, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And how did you wind up here?
Actually, we used to come from India for our religious programs, and we were in Chicago, and the Sikh Society of West Michigan, they built this beautiful Sikh temple here. So they invited us for the inauguration program. So all the devotees, they liked our kirtan and singing and our services, so they decided to invite us here forever. So since that day we are here.
Since that invitation.
Yeah.
And I have to say for our viewers that we had a chance earlier to take part in part of your service and hear what goes on, but also hear your beautiful voice. You said that you actually have some recordings.
Yes, I recently did my devotional album, and there are 6 hymns from that, our Holy Scripture. And it has been released in a big level. Firstly, it has been released from London, and secondly, it has been released from India.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So you said earlier you had begun your training from a very early age to go into this profession.
Yeah. Fortunately, I've started these services when I was in age of 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I started this services when I was 7.
Sure. And it was your father who has the training in this, that he recognized this potential in you.
Before he used to do these services, now you can see he's like 84, 85. So since childhood, I joined him. Actually, I used to see him doing program and religious services which he used to do. So I have a desire in my mind to do the same thing as my father does. Mm-hmm. So I started sitting with him on stage, and he thought that I'm interested about these services, so he started teaching me about it.
How big is your congregation here in West Michigan?
About 250 families here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you're all over, so from the Lakeshore to Grand Rapids.
Yeah, there are many families who come from Grand Haven, Lansing, and Battle Creek, Muskegon.
Okay.
And also from our Grand Rapids. Yeah.
So what is your greatest joy in doing what you do?
Yeah, basically I like to sing our hymns from the scripture, and I like to sharing things about humanity and about our religion, and I like to teach the kids about like humanity and religion.
So what is the biggest misunderstanding about the Sikh religion among Americans?
For us or for others?
For Americans looking in, because it's
actually,
a puzzling.
Yeah, the thing is, as we tie turban, we have beard and all this. Some people think that we are Muslim, but in my word, all the Muslims are not bad. And some of bad people you can find anywhere, in any religion. So Sikh religion, completely different religion from the Muslims, from Islam.
So
sometimes we have to face these kinds of things.
Sure. So ever since September 11th, 2001, people with brown skin and accents became frightening for a lot of Americans. And then, unfortunately, in 2012, there was a shooting in Wisconsin by an American, a white supremacist, who thought Sikhs were actually Muslims. Does this create fear for you in your daily life?
Not really. I would rather say I have pity to him who did that,
Okay.
because he didn't know about who we are. So Sikhism says that we should care about others, we should love all the humanity, and we should serve them, we should serve the needy people. Sikhism doesn't teach us discrimination about others. Whoever come over, they are most welcome.
Mm-hmm.
And we would be lovingly serve them, like as we call seva, which means selfless service. Whoever come over, we have to offer them whatever they need.
Okay.
So this is what our religion teaches.
Sure. Because our program is based on the theme of belonging, for you as a relative newcomer to West Michigan, you've been here a little less than 10 years. Mm-hmm. What gives you a sense of belonging here?
It's actually, when we came here, we did a program firstly, and especially the kids, they were really happy to see us doing kirtan, and they highly requested to the congregation members that we want these bishops here. We want to learn from him about more Sikhism.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why.
So it's your sense that you're providing a very meaningful service to this community.
This is the main thing. Yeah.
Sure. Well, I want to thank you for inviting us here today to witness what you're doing here, and to explain a little bit more about what you're about. And good luck in the future in this community.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much.
You bet. I'm talking right now with Veenu Suri, who is a member of the Sikh temple here in Ada. Veenu, thank you for taking time to talk with us today.
Thank you so much for coming to our temple.
So it's been a fascinating experience here for me and the crew as well, to be in your space here. I really have appreciated especially the light in here, and you were telling me about the significance of the light in the temple.
Right.
Can you share that?
Right. Well, the concept of light is basically the architect who planned the temple showed us that he wanted to put so many windows in there, and we said, why? He said, well, because I interpret God as light. Light is everywhere, and God is everywhere. So that is the basic premise of putting so much light that no corner in this room is dark. Everywhere it's illuminated.
So is that just the architect for this temple, or all Sikh temples?
This is architecture that we endeavor for most of our Sikh temples, but temples in India, some of them are old, so it's a different construction. But this is the interpretation basically that God is light. It's a pretty universal interpretation in Sikhism.
Okay, fantastic. And you were talking about the doors in here as well.
Yeah, the temple has 4 doors, as you can see. 4 doors are equivalent to the 4 directions in the world, and that means everybody from every corner of the world is welcome. That's what that means for us, that there is no, do not have one door. We want anybody and everybody, you can come and worship. Mm-hmm. That's what that is about.
And you've been very gracious to me and the crew in welcoming us here. And
we are so happy to have you. We are so glad that you've come. We want others to know about us, because it's a lesser known religion in the world. It gets mistaken for other religions, which we don't have any qualms with, but we would like to be known as Sikhs, as who we are. We are a more probably not so much in numbers. We are the 7th largest religion in the world, probably. There are so many ahead of us. So we love when people come and visit us, and we love to talk about our religion. So thank you so much for visiting.
Sure. And when we were chatting earlier, we came across the fact that Sikhism does really not go out and look for converts. It's not a proselytizing religion.
Very true. Very true. Sikhism does not believe in conversion. And as I told you, our 9th guru, this is in India. India was being ruled by a Mughal empire at that time. And they wanted to convert every Hindu into their own religion, which was a bad thing. So they came to a Sikh guru asking for asylum in a way, asking for protection, saying, we do not know what to do. He's ruling this country. We will be slaughtered. He wants us to convert. And there is nobody holier than you, bigger than you in our eyes. We have prayed, we have pondered over this, we have searched our hearts. These were big priests who came to him, Hindu priests, and he said, go back to Aurangzeb, the Mughal ruler, and tell him, if you can convert me, every Hindu will convert. And so he was beheaded in Delhi in a temple. There is a temple to, as a testament to that, Seesganj in Old Delhi. And Hindus all stayed Hindus after that. But this being said, let me tell you that the Granth Sahib to whom which we are bowing has the Bani or the wordings or couplets or hymns, whatever you might say, of lot of Hindu saints, Muslim peers, along with our gurus. So God, when you reach a certain level of understanding and love, religion doesn't matter. Our gurus knew those were valuable people. And after he was beheaded, we could have removed the Bani of those people from our Granth Sahib. But that's not true. That's not the religion we have been taught. Humanity is the biggest religion in Sikhism. If you cannot love each other, you cannot reach God. People are bad. Religion is not bad, like Bhai Sahib said before.
Got it. So when we were talking earlier, and just the sense I got is that the people who have the Sikh
Faith.
Thank you, are very flexible people.
We are flexible, but we are very rigid in some ways too. We believe our Guru. We believe we must share 1/10 of our earnings. We only bow to Guru Granth Sahib, nothing else. We believe we do not convert, and we do not go into conversion. We love human beings. We live life to the fullest. We work very hard, and we are not into any kind of what should I say? It's not maligning people never helps in our lives. So in some ways we are very rigid, in some ways we are very modern and very, very flexible.
Sure. You said that there's some flexibility in terms of the coming and going during prayer time.
Oh, yeah.
That the tradition is to sit on the floor. We're removing our shoes, covering our heads. But for people who are aging, they can be comfortable by actually using chairs.
That's very true. As you can see, there are chairs back there, and all the elders or anybody who has any issues can go and sit back there. So you should not be devoid of coming to the service. This is the hall where you pray. You don't want anybody not to be able to come here. We have certain people who have special needs, who have handicapped chairs, and they also come and they are also here. So yeah, no such problems.
Sure. The last thing I wanted to ask you about to share was we talked about hospitality and food at the temple.
At the temple. Well, every Sunday, which we would like to invite all of you to come back on a Sunday, the convocation cooks breakfast and lunch, and everybody is sits on the floor there, and then you eat together. No matter you may be a king or a president or whoever you may be in India or wherever you go, if you visit a Sikh temple, and that's called langar, the food, the serving of the food, we will serve you on the floor next to any other person who is sitting there. And we love services, like Bhai Sahib said, seva is essential because God is in service. So the food, concept of food is everybody should be fed, no matter who you are, from where you come, and you will sit together as one in his presence and eat.
Sure. And the notion of having food available to anyone is because you can't pray, you can't be focused if your stomach is growling.
Exactly, yeah, and the food is essential part of life. You pray, you need to eat as well. So you said it better than me.
Well, I'm a fast listener, so if somebody gives me a good idea, I can be glad to share that.
No.
Anyway, thank you so much for spending time with us today.
It's a pleasure, and thank you so much for coming.
You bet.
Come
Okay.
again.
We will.
Thank you.
पिता